The idea behind NC Promise was to allow schools to increase educational access and reduce student debt. We went out to Elizabeth City State University to see how NC Promise has helped a program flourish and in turn attract many students to our state. It might seem like a video game or a fun virtual reality experience.
We do a lot of our instrument training in these.
But this simulation is preparing what could be your next pilot to take off.
So we just took off one of the runways and we're just climbing out right now.
These are students at Elizabeth City State University's aviation program. This is the only 4-year aviation degree program in North Carolina and is one with all the bells and whistles.
Today we're having a sunrise. You can see the sunrise scenario. But the unique thing about this simulator is that you can actually change the weather, make it day, make it night, make it rain, make it snow.
Students get to experience many scenarios before they ever get to take to the sky.
That's the reality that we fly in. I mean, that's what we are training our students to be professional in all kind of weather.
The students say this high-tech equipment lets them experience tough situations before they actually arise.
Being in the tower, you're going to have a wet runway and you need to ask about braking conditions, or you might not be able to see someone in this certain part of the airport, so you have to ask them for a position report every time they get to a certain area. So when you have these situations where you can set it up to just kind of come in over time, and then you can gauge the way somebody that is supposed to be a tower operator, how they start to talk to the traffic and what they start to ask for. It's a little bit more of a natural way to change the scenario and see if they can pick up on how they also need to change, because that's what's going to happen in real life.
But all of the scenarios and situations faced in the classroom.
We're looking for nicks and gouges in the blade.
Are preparing these students to get behind the wheel.
And we want to make sure that we follow that checklist because, we as pilots, we're all human, so at certain times you could forget something. So even though you do things every day in a cyclical manner, you still could forget something.
Freshman year, the students are at the airport just down the road from the university with one-on-one instruction with one of the school's 11 planes used for training.
Yeah, it's one-on-one, so that's actually more favorable for the student. So that student actually gets, a catered lesson, and we can actually focus on the needs of that student. And that's what's going to promote a confident and safer pilot.
And a valuable lesson at the airport that many students across the country don't get to experience.
Not every airport has a control tower. Believe it or not, most airports don't have a control tower. But we here at Elizabeth City, we're very lucky to have a control tower. It really allows for a good learning experience for our students here. So they can actually learn to communicate with ATC while learning how to fly.
This aviation program at Elizabeth City State University is getting a lot of attention, not only because its graduates go on to work with the armed forces, federal contractors, and major U.S. airlines, and not only because being housed at a historically black college and university, it helps to close the gap in representation in the airline industry, but also because it's on the campus of what is known as an NC Promise University.
The prices, so they were phenomenal. So compared to I would go down to school down in Florida, Amarillo, it's like twice the price or quadruple. So, I had different schools. So
through NC Promise, in-state tuition at ECSU is $500 per semester, and out-of-state is $2,500. This state program was aimed to make affordable college options within the UNC system, cutting down on student debt. Since the inception of NC Promise in 2017, Elizabeth City State University has seen its enrollment grow every year, topping 2,000 students in 2020, the first time it's reached that number since 2013. When you look at the aviation program, NC Promise makes it one of the most affordable aviation degree programs in the country, costing about 50% of what it would cost at a large public or private training college.
The amount of technology here and the amount of planes and everything for the price that you get is really incredible, and that's hard to find in a lot of other flight schools.
Alex and Caleb are both at ECSU from out of state, one hoping to go into the Coast Guard, the other to become a federal contractor. Both say you can't beat the price or the education, pointing out that by the time they graduate this spring, they will have been flying for several years.
I think it was my second week here, freshman year. They're like, get in the plane, let's go. And it was like, holy crap, this is scary. So, but yes, it's fun, very fun.
ECSU offers 4 aviation science concentrations: flight education, professional aeronautics and air traffic control, aviation management, and avionics.
You know, you get the proper courses.
And it is seen its majors grow every year. Leaders say with the interest in and cost of the program, they expect that growth to continue.
Simulations that we use here is second to none.